Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we will focus on Yayoi Kusama's iconic My Eternal Soul series, exploring works of art that build on her signature style of dots and spots. This series of paintings abound with imagery of biomorphic forms along with hieroglyphic-like patterns of peeping eyes, faces, and flowers, all meant to offer a very artistic impression of worlds as seen through a microscope, worlds exploding in powerful color and line. So here are what we will need to start our project. You should have some plain paper or some colored construction paper, a Sharpie, and then any of these materials, oil pastels, crayons, markers, colored pencils, watercolors, collage materials. It's really up to you how you choose to fill in your art. So let's take a look at what we will be doing. These are some examples, two different styles of a similar type artwork. This is done with crayon and Sharpie. And over here, I have some collage materials. So your choice as to how you decide to do this project. So let's get started. You will need your paper, and you will also need your Sharpie if you are choosing to do the drawing and coloring version. If you are cutting, you can certainly use these shapes to recreate your picture. So the first step, and I'm actually going to turn my paper the long way, is to kind of make a border that goes around your paper. Now this actually might even end up with some zigzags or other things going around if you want to. But you see, you can kind of design your border to look however you think it should. You can add tassels, you can add lines. I'm doing zigzags. You can see I'm not really paying too much attention to how it looks, and we're done. So here we have our border. The next thing you're going to want to do is think about adding a biomorphic, we'll call it. So it's kind of based on biology. So if you've ever studied things like amoebas, or if you looked under a microscope before, you might have seen some unusual shapes. We call them organic shapes that have that kind of a splotch-like look. So she uses these in her artwork, and we can do the same. She also layers the shapes and uses elements of line and design to create some interest in what she is making. So there might be some other little spots, maybe some that have a circle, maybe another unusual shape. You get the idea. Once you have your center shape, now you're going to want to create some shapes around it. So you can do these by adding simple organic shapes. You can add shapes inside the shapes. She does a lot of flower motifs. You can also add things that kind of resemble an eye. She's really, you can even make symbols and shapes all around. Maybe even she likes to use things like a head or some kind of person. So kind of like hieroglyphic. If you think back to the prehistoric days, things that might have that kind of unusual features to them, things that look like flowers are very popular. You could do a design that we've seen, all flowers, which comes out really nice too. So you're just creating and making some designs to fill in your entire shape. So I might do a few smaller ones, or maybe something that kind of resembles a centipede, because we've seen that in her art as well. And anything else that you think you might spot under a microscope when you're looking. Okay, now once you have your basic design, you can choose whatever process you wish to fill it in. So if you have access to things like oil pastels, those come out really nice and bright. If you have crayons or markers, whatever you have, you can use to fill in your art piece. So that when you're finished, you end up with a very colorful and very organic yo-yo inspired art piece. I hope you enjoyed making this art project and keep on creating.